So, I was really gonna hold off and just kind of do like a mega video, like a 40-minute video, when we got the compensation. But it's been almost a day since Rodgers went on the Pat McAfee show and basically, not delivered, but I guess confirmed what we all kind of figured late last week, was that he was going to the Jets. And since then, there's been like nothing about the compensation of what the Packers want to get or are really trying to get for Rodgers. I guess there was a report yesterday morning that both sides were not coming together, and they weren't fully figuring it out. So I thought, hey, he's gonna come out, and then by like 5 or 6 o'clock p.m. My time, I was thinking, okay, there's gonna be something. I'm gonna have to do like a late night video or whatever, and just do a video about him talking about compensation, and then just kind of give my thoughts on the whole situation and everything that's going on. But I decided that I would rather just get my thoughts out now rather than waiting. It could be days. I saw one report came out and said, hey, they're going to wait till April. They're going to wait till the draft because they want to get what they want to get, and they're going to pressure the Jets into giving them every single thing they want. So I'm like, I'm not going to wait a month because by then, the emotions are, I'm just going to be like, okay, you know what, whatever. Let's just move on. Let's get to the draft, get past the draft, focus on Jordan Love. Everything right now is still kind of raw. Still, I mean, I woke up this morning and still kind of felt a little bit emotional of it. I'm happy the fact that, hey, we don't have to deal with this anymore. 3 off seasons of, is he going to retire? Is he going to come back? Is he going to go somewhere else? What's going on? We don't know anything. Blah, 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 blah. 3 years of that gets really annoying. That part, I'm like, okay, you know what? Fine. Just get out of here. Go. I don't care anymore. I'm just tired of every single offseason not knowing who's going to be our QB. What are we going to do? It affects, the free agents that we have. Are people going to come back? Can we bring people in? Which we didn't really do that. I mean, we could have probably tried for Odell and, tried for some of these other people and whatnot. Didn't really work. And eventually, it's just money catches up to you, and we just got to get rid of him with that big contract he has. So the part that hurts is over a decade. All of my teenage life, start of my adult life here, half of my childhood, like pre-teenage years, literally since I think it was 7 or 8. First year was a starter. Drafting was 05, 06, whatever it was. So I was very young, and I've talked about this in videos before. I still remember, the situation with Favre, and especially living close to Green Bay. You could just cut the air with a knife. Like, it was tense. You could feel it. It was really tense. Now that was, again, 15 plus years ago, whatever it's been now, or a little under 50. I can't do math right now. I'm recording this early in the morning. Point is that when everything came out in 2020, it kind of started to feel like that again. Felt like we're going down the same path, and of course we are. Sorry, again, I'm recording this in the morning. I want this out today. Watch, I want to put this out, and then we're going to get the compensation an hour after I put this video out. And then I'm going to have to record a second one. Anyway, I was young, but I still remember that. This time, it hasn't been as dire because I think social media, I think, his opinions on everything, I think nowadays it's really split the fan base of, hey, like the person Aaron Rodgers and the football player Aaron Rodgers, and there's two sides. People only see the person, people only see the football player. You gotta kind of separate them because they're we're all humans. It's just we put people kind of like on a pedestal when they're really good at something. Like Tom Brady's put on a pedestal for being the GOAT of football. So he's dissected by everything. So it's I hate doing that, but you gotta try to separate it, especially because this is a football video. This is the player Aaron Rodgers. This isn't everything he said. Everything that's going on. I don't like to get into personal matter like his family crap. I don't want to get into that because I don't care. To me, that's none of my business. I don't give a shit. I don't care. That's personal. That's I'm sure I think his family leaks stuff, but that doesn't really matter to me. But ever since that was early in his career, I think that was in 2010. I think around the time he won the Super Bowl when that came out. But it's hard to just watch him leave. I wish he would have retired a Packer. I wish. 2014 was our chance to get a second ring. To the day I die, I will continue to say 2014 was our year to get a ring. I think we beat the Patriots if we don't blow that lead to Seattle. I full-heartedly believe we beat the Patriots in that Super Bowl. If we don't blow that, was it 16-0 or 16-9 or whatever it was, lead to the Seahawks. And it basically came down to, the onside kick mainly. But again, you can, point out defense, all this other crap. But they got the ball back with 5 minutes left and couldn't really do much. So even a field goal would have probably been helpful. Point is, I don't want to get stuck in the past here. There's been so many moments. Turning turning a nobody into a household name, Jeff Janis, for example. 2 Hail Mary type plays back to back, against Arizona in the playoffs, forcing overtime. Yes, we lost because of our defense in overtime. But a lot of people know of Jeff Janis, know who Jeff Janis is because of those 2 plays. Because no one really cares. Even I'm sure some of the Packers fan base before that game were like, he's just a wide receiver. He'll probably be gone next year, whatever. Who cares about him? After those 2 plays, it's like, damn. He's coming up strong for us. So, seeing that turn in, again, random people in the household names. Even, Brady can do it. Peyton Manning can do it. Some of these great top-tier QBs can do that. With wide receivers and whatnot, make you remember, certain plays and whatnot. So, it's fun to look back on those plays. The Hail Mary against Detroit. There's so many Bears games. The Cobb touchdown was that 4th and 18 or whatever it was. There's a lot of battles with the Vikings over the past, 10 years, 10 plus years. So there's a lot in the North that it's hey, look at all these great examples. There's a reason everyone else in the North is celebrating because he is such a damn good player. And, I've seen people respect him, but obviously, the fandom's hey, I'm glad he's gone because he doesn't have to terrorize my team anymore. So, a lot of fun in the North. Again, a lot of battles with the Vikings. They've kind of been the pests in the past, 10, 15 years. I would say, again, you have that Bears defense in the late 2000s, early 2010s and whatnot, too. But, it wasn't always guaranteed that, Packers were going to win. It's just, Aaron Rodgers, was that guy. So, it's bittersweet because for the past, 15 years, and there's been, I think, 2 or 3 years of exceptions of, not making the playoffs. But for the most part, it's hey, I'm going to see the Packers play playoff football. They might not win a Super Bowl, but we get to see them in the playoffs. Name another team like that, excluding the Patriots. Name another team like that where it's hey, every single year we expect to make the playoffs. We expect to do this, expect to do that. There's some teams where it's they've had highs and then they have lows. Like the Jets, for a while, 2000s, kind of early 2010s, up and down, doing some playoffs. I had some lulls now, and then now there's, people are saying they're going to make the playoffs next year with Rodgers. There's teams like the Texans where, you might have had someone like Deshaun Watson, that take you to the playoffs, but they don't really have been, like, what have they done since? What did they really do before? Not a lot. You have teams, there's teams that just don't have success like we do. Like the Lions, I hate to pick on the Lions because, I respect the Lions. I understand what they've been through. I'm happy they're, getting better. But, was it 2013? Maybe it was 2014. Was the last time they made no, I think it was 2016. Last time they made the playoffs, and then they were on a dry spell before that too. So like they, teams like that, it's not guaranteed to make the playoffs, and yet here we are as Packer fans thinking, oh yeah, we'll see them in the wild card next year. Can't wait for whoever we're gonna play in the wild card. It's such a privileged thing to have that mindset of, you know what, who cares? Like, we have Aaron Rodgers, we're good to go. Like, we'll see you in the playoffs. And yes, it hurts to lose in the like, of course it hurts to lose in the playoffs. But we were so privileged for so many years. And even going back to before Rodgers, Brett Favre, he made 2 Super Bowls. 1-1, but he made 2, they were good. And so, like, we've been privileged for, 3 decades, heading into 4. Well, we don't know with love, but, we've been so privileged to just be able to do what we can, see what we can, and, obviously the whole meme is like, hey, they never made the Super Bowl again after 2010, but that's because, like, a lot of teams can't even make the playoffs. A lot of teams have to meme on the, the teams that constantly are making the playoffs because they themselves can't do it, so it's like, okay, we're going to go pick on the other guys. So, as the dust starts to settle and, maybe love is bad. And maybe we aren't in the playoffs for 5-10 years. I can't see the future. I'm recording this, March 16th of 2023. I could come back to this video in 2030 and go, oh yeah, we won 2 Super Bowls with love or something like. I don't know. So, it was one of the greatest things ever. Most of my life, getting to see playoffs a lot, some great games, regular season games, postseason games, getting to see. I actually got to see a Super Bowl. I was in 4th grade at the time, but, I'm privileged to say I got to see a Super Bowl because it feels like half the Super Bowls since 2000 were won by the Patriots, so it feels like not a lot of people have seen a Super Bowl because of the stupid Patriots. But, I got to see one. I remember it with my eyes. We celebrated in class. We took a whole day where, the teacher brought in those big old box TVs, and we got to watch them fly in and come into the airport and sign autographs for people and whatnot at the airport. The parade and whatnot, too. So, like, I got to see that in my life. I got to see success, and I never saw the 70s and 80s because I'm not that old to see that. I did some, I did a skit, they were in my Packers Go to Therapy series skit. I got to kind of research, kind of like look back what happened, the coaching and all this other crap that happened. And, we might come to that. We might. Again, we don't know what the future holds. It's really, we're going to lose our privileges of, going to the Super Bowl, going to the playoffs every year. That expectation of we can make it that far because we have one of the GOATs at QB. So, like, it sucks. It does suck. I wish he would have retired at Packer. I wish he would, have finished his career here. But he clearly just has trouble with the front office, just not want to be around them anymore, tired of them. So I get it. I get it. If I was in the same shoes, and if, like, hey, my bosses were just like, hey, we're gonna move on from you. We like this younger guy. I'd be like, hey, okay, screw you. I'm gonna go do another company, and I'm gonna go just show them what I still have left. So I get that mentality that he has, competitive mentality. Every single person in existence has been competitive. It's human nature. So I get that. He won back-to-back MVPs after they drafted Jordan Love. He thought that the front office spited him, and it's like, hey, look at me, look at who I am, look at what I can do. And so I think he will do well. With the Jets now. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens. I still green and gold all day. Hang on. We're gonna grab this. We're gonna grab this all day. There, we'll put that up all day. Green and gold. Oops. Okay. Well, whatever. First and foremost, bleed green and gold as that falls again. I don't. But I'll support him. Watching Adams walk away kind of sucked. And I've memed about him, but obviously I do hope he has success. He had a pretty decent year with Derek Carr this past year, and then now he's got Jimmy Garoppolo. But I'll be rooting for Rodgers with the Jets. I'm not one of those fans where I'm gonna go and get a Rodgers jersey. But I'll be cheering for him. He was carrying the G for the longest time, the longest QB ever to carry the G. He broke that curse, came back. I think that was this past season where he came back and beat both of Favre and Starr, who tied the record. I don't know what else I can say. Just a lot of highs, some lows, and whatnot. This stupid thing, man. This is so big on me. Yeah, I guess I don't like it. It's been a roller coaster. It's been a ride. There's too many moments to name, and obviously number one on that list is the Super Bowl, obviously. But it's gonna suck. So it's gonna hurt if he wins the Super Bowl next year too. If somehow, some way he wins the Super Bowl, it's gonna hurt because I'm okay saying this. I've come out, I've talked about how, hey, like, Matt LaFleur to me sometimes doesn't seem like that guy. He doesn't seem like that coach. And there's obviously there was stupid. I don't think there was a lot of bad blood there. Maybe early on, just trying to get used to the system, but. I don't like Matt LaFleur's play calling, and obviously getting rid of Pettin late. I think we should have moved on, got someone else. Joe Barry's first year was very good, and the defense did its job against the Niners in the was it divisional, but the offense just again Matt LaFleur and his offensive coaching staff just not showing up. So. If he goes and he has success offensively with, the Jets, I'm going to be like, hey, I've been kind of talking about it. I don't have a lot of faith in Matt LaFleur, so maybe it was the coaching. Maybe Rodgers still had it, and we let this guy go. Or flip side, maybe Jordan Love is an MVP next year. And Rodgers doesn't even make the playoffs. I would hate that. I would personally hate that. Obviously, I would meme about it. I'd be like, ha, look at he couldn't do anything with the top 5 defense. But if that would be kind of bittersweet just to see Rodgers kind of fail and Love just like blossom into this like him mentality guy. So I would be bittersweet. I would suck because again, I'm gonna still cheer for Rodgers. I'm green and gold first and foremost, but I'll watch some Jets games next year. If they make the playoffs, good luck. The AFC is a bloodbath. It is clearly the best, conference between the two, and everyone's just going to the AFC. If Lamar stays in the AFC, whether he stays with the Ravens or he goes somewhere else in the AFC, yeah, that's going to be another challenge. You have Mahomes, you have Burrow, you have Allen, there's so many good QBs. Tua, if he can stay healthy, is a top 10 QB. So, you're going to a hard division. You're going to a hard conference. So, I don't expect him to make the Super Bowl. I really don't. If he does, hey, good. Good. You just proved that you can run through anyone in the AFC with a good team around you. But if they don't, I'm like, hey, what is he supposed to do in that stacked conference? So that would be the part where I'm like, hey, if you would have stayed here, you really have the Eagles, the Niners, and maybe the Cowboys. Not a lot of good NFC teams this year. And this coming up here, there's not really. So the Eagles could easily repeat and go back and lose another Super Bowl. But we'll see. I'm going to close on this. Whatever the future holds, good luck for Rodgers. Hopefully Love is good. I am very excited about the fake fans that are going to leave, the Rodgers only fans. Not that! Only Rodgers fans and not Packers fans. God damn it. God damn it. Anyway, let's move on. It's already 21 in mid-video. I'm happy to see those, fake non-Packer fans leave. They can head to New York. You can go ahead and spend time with New York, with a poverty franchise who hasn't won a Super Bowl since, the 70s or whatever. They've had ups and downs. If they make the playoffs, good for them. If they make the Super Bowl, good for them. But I can't wait to see this fan base and the true fans stick around. It's going to hurt. I promise you, it is going to hurt. Okay? This is not going to be an easy thing coming off of back-to-back. My whole life, 2 Hall of Fame QBs, and we don't have to talk about what Brett Favre's doing post-football. Football-wise, back-to-back Hall of Fame QBs since the 90s. Since the 90s. So, if Love isn't good, it's going to hurt. A lot of people are going to turn on the Packers. They're going to go wherever. They might follow Rodgers again to the Jets. They might go elsewhere. They might go to a division rival because all of a sudden, oh, look at the Bears are doing good. Woohoo, good for them. Which, I can't really hate on them, too, because they're making a lot of good moves this offseason. Lions are doing pretty good. Vikings, still don't really care about the Vikings. Still not, high on the Vikings. I hope they fail. But, if people go to a division rival, just sit back and go, hey, you want to leave at our lowest? You can't handle us at our lowest? Don't come back to us when we win a Super Bowl, whether that's with a veteran QB in the future, whether that's with a rookie we draft, whether that's with Jordan Love. Don't come back to us after you already left. Don't stay for the highs and leave for the lows. Just like in a relationship. Stick, if you're a loyal person, stick with that person. Stick through them at the lows because their highs are amazing, spectacular, and if you can be a shoulder to lean on in their lows, it can make things a lot easier and not have super low lows. So, I'm ready for the future. We'll see what happens. We'll see how Rodgers does next year. We're going to be, obviously, again, going to be tuning into some of his games next year. I'm sure here in Wisconsin, I'm sure they're going to televise a couple Jets games. I'm sure they are. You're probably going to have Jets in prime time, or the second. Well, prime time to me is also the 3:25 slot, or it's the second game slot. It's game of the week slot. So prime time can be Sunday night, Monday night, can be Thursday night, but I also see it as the second game on Sunday. The game of the week slot essentially. So I'm sure we'll see a lot of that here. So yeah. We'll see. I don't know how Jordan Love's going to look. Yeah. So, for now, let me know your thoughts down below. It's bittersweet. But it's bound to happen. I've been mentally trying to prepare for this for 2 years, 3 years now. And a part of me wishes he retired a Packer. But he didn't. So, like the video. Share the video around. Don't forget to subscribe. And, I'm going to go prepare myself. I'm going to go mentally think about this some more and then start preparing some videos for Friday. Start preparing some videos for this weekend. We got March Madness that starts today, the day this is going live. And yeah, I'm out of here. Peace.